Ladies and gentlemen, you ever think about the way God designed us? The way He intended a man and a woman to come together? I'm telling you, it's beautiful. There's something powerful about a partnership where each person knows their role. And yeah, the Bible says that a woman should submit to her husband. But let me tell you this, don't you ever for a second think that submission means you lose your dignity. You hear me? Submission is not about being a doormat or being stepped on. No, it's about trust. Trust in your husband to lead. Trust in the way God designed the marriage to work. And let me be clear, submission is not weakness, it's strength. It's the strength to say, I believe in this man, I believe in the love we share. But don't get it twisted, submission goes hand in hand with respect. And if your husband ain't respecting you, there's a problem. You hear me? Now, God calls husbands to love their wives as Christ loved the church. That's sacrificial love, unconditional love. If you're a man, that's your job, to love your wife like that, not to boss her around, not to dominate her, to love her. And when you love her like that, submission, it just flows. It's not forced. It's a gift. Ladies, listen to me. Your submission is not a sign of weakness. It's a blessing. When you submit with dignity, with grace, with strength, that's when the whole thing works. You create an environment where your family can thrive, where your children can see what true love and respect look like. You know what? It's about knowing your worth. It's about knowing that you're made in the image of God, and that submission doesn't make you less than anybody. You're a queen, and you deserve to be treated like one. But submission is also about creating a bond that can't be broken. It's about empowering each other. It's about being a team. So don't let anybody ever tell you that submission means silence or weakness. It means strength, it means honor, and it means trust in God's plan for your life. When you submit with dignity and love, you bless your marriage, you bless your family, and you honor the calling God has placed on your life. Let that sink in. Mutual respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, especially in marriage. It is the understanding that both partners are equally valuable, with unique roles, talents, and qualities that contribute to the partnership. In a marriage where mutual respect thrives, each person honors the other's feelings, opinions, and desires, recognizing that no one is above or below the other. It means that decisions are made together, communication is open and sincere, and the needs of both individuals are acknowledged and met. Respect in marriage is not just about treating each other with kindness when things are easy, but also about standing by one another through the tough times, valuing each other's perspective even when disagreements arise. Mutual respect calls for the ability to listen and understand, to not interrupt or belittle one another, and to always consider the other person's point of view. It's about knowing that even when you don't agree, you're still committed to maintaining a level of honor and dignity in your words and actions. In a relationship founded on respect, neither partner feels superior or inferior to the other. Instead, they work together as a team, encouraging one another to be the best version of themselves. When respect is mutual, the bond grows stronger, trust deepens, and love flourishes because both individuals know that their needs, feelings, and desires are valued. This respect also means allowing each other the freedom to express thoughts, explore passions, and grow in their own individual journeys, while still supporting each other as a unit. Respect is the foundation on which love can thrive. Without it, the relationship falters. When respect is mutual, a sense of equality is maintained, making each partner feel empowered, understood, and cared for. The role of leadership in a marriage, particularly from the husband's side, is rooted in service, guidance, and responsibility. Leadership in this context is not about dominance or control, but about providing direction with wisdom, love, and a servant's heart. A husband is called to lead by example, setting the tone for how decisions are made and how the family operates. His leadership is seen in how he nurtures, supports, and protects his wife and children, not by making unilateral decisions, but by working collaboratively and ensuring everyone's voice is heard. A strong leader in marriage is one who listens as much as he speaks. He doesn't assume his way is the only way. Instead, he seeks input, values the opinions of his wife, and makes decisions with the family's best interest at heart. True leadership is about building trust, and that trust is earned through consistent actions, integrity, and a willingness to sacrifice for the good of the family. A husband's leadership should create a safe space for his wife to feel secure, loved, and empowered in the relationship. Leadership also involves setting a spiritual example, guiding the family in faith, prayer, and values. It's about showing the strength to lead with humility, acknowledging that leadership comes with great responsibility and accountability. A husband who leads in this way fosters an environment where both partners feel valued and respected. His leadership isn't just for the benefit of his own personal desires, but for the overall well-being of his wife and family. The true measure of leadership in marriage lies in the ability to guide with compassion, to serve with integrity, and to put the needs of the family above one's own. Dignity in submission is a powerful concept that challenges the misconception that submission means inferiority or weakness. In reality, submission with dignity is a choice made out of love, trust, and mutual respect, not a surrender of one's worth. It's about maintaining self-respect and honoring one's identity while choosing to support and honor the role of the partner, especially in the context of marriage. Submission in this sense is not about being silenced or diminished. It's a reflection of strength, grace, and understanding of one's role within a partnership. When a wife submits with dignity, she recognizes the value of her own voice and perspective while choosing to follow the leadership of her husband in areas where he is called to lead. This submission does not erase her individuality. Instead, it amplifies her ability to be an active participant in the marriage, contributing her insights, love, and wisdom. Dignity and submission requires a strong sense of self-awareness and a commitment to a relationship founded on trust and mutual respect. It's a decision to align with the greater purpose of the marriage, working in harmony with her partner to build a healthy, loving, and supportive environment. Furthermore, submission with dignity also means recognizing that a healthy relationship allows both partners to grow and flourish, each bringing their strengths to the table. It doesn't mean accepting abuse or being forced into silence. On the contrary, it's a deliberate choice made in an atmosphere of care and consideration. By submitting with dignity, a woman affirms her worth, demonstrating that submission, when done properly, is an empowering act of love and commitment that strengthens the marriage, honors her partner, and uplifts both individuals in the relationship. Love as the foundation is the central element that holds a marriage together, providing the strength and security needed for both partners to thrive. This love isn't superficial or fleeting. It's a deep, unconditional commitment that endures through the challenges and changes that life inevitably brings. When love is the foundation of a marriage, both partners approach each other with patience, understanding, and a willingness to sacrifice for the well-being of the other. It's a love that transcends emotions and is rooted in choice, action, and faithfulness. In a marriage where love is the foundation, the dynamics shift from individual desires to a shared vision. Each partner seeks to meet the needs of the other, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to support and uplift them. This love shapes how decisions are made, how conflict is handled, and how each person views their role in the relationship. Love is patient and kind, and it challenges both partners to reflect Christ-like qualities such as humility, grace, and forgiveness. Moreover, love as the foundation fosters an environment of trust and safety. When both partners love each other deeply, there is a mutual respect for each other's thoughts, feelings, and dreams. This foundation makes space for open communication and understanding, where each person feels heard and valued. Love also provides the strength to overcome difficulties. During times of struggle, it's love that keeps the couple united, reminding them of the promises they've made to one another. This deep connection, grounded in love, not only strengthens the marriage, but also creates an atmosphere where both individuals feel empowered to grow, knowing they have the unwavering support of their partner. Submission is a choice that comes from the heart, a conscious decision made out of love, trust, and respect for one's partner. It is not something that is demanded or coerced, but rather something that is freely given, understanding that true submission can only exist in an atmosphere of mutual respect and care. This choice acknowledges the roles that each partner plays in a marriage and how both contribute to the well-being of the relationship. It's not about surrendering one's identity or silencing one's voice, but about recognizing that within the marriage, there is a dynamic of leadership and partnership that can work best when both individuals are aligned in their commitment to each other. Choosing to submit is not a sign of weakness. It is a reflection of strength and emotional maturity. It requires wisdom to understand that submission does not strip a person of dignity, but rather affirms the value of both partners in the relationship. It is a choice to embrace the unique roles within the marriage, knowing that both contribute equally to its success, even if those roles look different. Submission is also a sign of trust. Trust in the leadership of the husband, but also trust in the foundation of love and respect that sustains the marriage. This choice is made every day, not out of obligation, but out of a desire to build something beautiful together. It is a choice that grows over time, strengthened by the love, understanding, and sacrifices that both partners make for one another. Now, submission is the willingness to prioritize the relationship, to support the leadership of the husband when appropriate, and to nurture an environment where both partners can thrive as individuals and as a couple. Partnership in marriage is the understanding that both individuals bring unique qualities, strengths, and perspectives to the relationship, and that the success of the marriage depends on the harmonious collaboration between the two. It is not a one-sided effort, but a shared journey, where each partner contributes to the emotional, spiritual, and practical aspects of the relationship. In a true partnership, both individuals have a voice, and their opinions, desires, and needs are valued equally. It's a mutual understanding that each person is an integral part of the marriage, and together they can create a strong, loving, and supportive environment. In a partnership, communication is key. Both partners must be willing to listen, understand, and express their thoughts and emotions openly, without fear of judgment. It's about creating a space where both individuals feel safe and encouraged to be vulnerable and authentic. This openness fosters trust and strengthens the bond between partners, allowing them to work through challenges together. A successful partnership is built on shared goals, dreams, and values, where each person's contributions complement the other, leading to a balanced and fulfilling life together. Furthermore, partnership in marriage requires sacrifice and compromise. There will be times when one partner needs to give more, whether emotionally, physically, or financially, and times when the other partner steps in. It's not about keeping score, but about giving and receiving with grace, knowing that the marriage is a team effort. Each partner should support the other in their individual growth and aspirations, while also nurturing the collective growth of the relationship. A true partnership in marriage is one where both individuals are committed to the success and happiness of the other, working hand in hand toward a shared vision of love, respect, and mutual fulfillment. Equality before God is a fundamental principle that transcends gender, status, and societal roles. From a biblical perspective, both men and women are created in God's image, equally reflecting His glory and inherent worth. This means that, in the eyes of God, both are of equal value, deserving of the same respect, love, and honor. While God has designed distinct roles for men and women within the context of marriage and society, the foundational truth remains that both are equal in dignity, purpose, and ability to contribute to God's plan. This equality is not defined by position or authority, but by the inherent worth each person holds as a child of God. Men and women are equally capable of receiving God's love, grace, and blessings, and both have access to His guidance and wisdom. The differences in their roles or responsibilities within the home or church are not a reflection of a lack of equality, but rather a manifestation of the unique ways each person contributes to the overall design of God's creation. In marriage, for instance, the husband's role as a leader does not make him superior, nor does the wife's role as a supporter make her inferior. Instead, it highlights the complementary nature of their relationship, where each person is vital to the success and well-being of the family unit. True equality before God allows for mutual respect, honor, and love to flow freely between partners. It empowers each individual to step into their God-given roles without feeling less than or unworthy. God's design for equality is not a call for uniformity, but a celebration of the differences that allow each person to contribute in their own way, enhancing the marriage, family, and community in which they serve. Empowerment through submission may seem like a paradox, but it is rooted in the idea that true strength comes from choosing to align oneself with a higher purpose and vision. Submission, when understood in the context of a loving, respectful relationship, is not a sign of weakness, but rather a powerful act of trust, humility, and intentional partnership. By choosing to submit, an individual empowers themselves to contribute to the relationship in a meaningful way, recognizing that their role, though different from their partners, is just as vital to the marriage's success and harmony. Submission through empowerment is not about relinquishing control or losing one's voice. It is about choosing to trust the leadership and decisions made by the partner, knowing that it is a shared effort to build something greater than the sum of its parts. This trust fosters an environment of mutual respect and cooperation, where both individuals can contribute their strengths, talents, and perspectives. It's an act of empowerment because it allows the individual to stand firm in their identity and role while supporting the partner in a way that aligns with the greater good of the relationship. By submitting with grace and dignity, an individual affirms their worth and capacity to influence the relationship positively. It is a choice that requires emotional strength, self-awareness, and wisdom. Submission in this sense is not about suppression, but about the freedom to flourish within the context of a shared vision and commitment. It allows each partner to grow individually, knowing they are supported and valued. In this way, submission becomes a source of empowerment, enabling both individuals to thrive as they honor one another's roles and contribute to the overall strength and success of their partnership. The blessing of obedience in a relationship, particularly within the context of marriage, is not merely about following rules or fulfilling duties. It is about aligning one's actions with a higher purpose and a loving design that benefits the whole. Obedience in this sense goes beyond compliance. It is an act of trust and faith. When a wife chooses to obey in the context of a marriage, it is a deliberate choice to honor the leadership of her husband, not out of fear or subjugation, but out of a deep sense of respect and love for the family unit and for the divine plan that guides the relationship. Obedience brings with it peace and order. When both partners choose to act in accordance with their roles and responsibilities, there is harmony in the marriage and the relationship thrives. The blessing comes when obedience to God's design allows the couple to experience unity, joy, and fulfillment. There is a sense of divine alignment that permeates the relationship as both partners seek to serve one another and build a strong, loving foundation. This obedience also opens the door for greater blessings, spiritual, emotional, and even material, because it reflects a heart that desires to honor God's will. When a wife chooses to submit in obedience, it is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful reflection of her trust in God's plan for her marriage. She knows that by honoring her husband's leadership, she is participating in a divine order that will bring stability, peace, and growth to their union. Obedience, therefore, is not a burden. It is a path to blessings that extend beyond the immediate and into the long-term joy, success, and spiritual fulfillment of the marriage and family. Submission is for the family because it strengthens the foundation on which the entire household is built. In the context of marriage, when both partners understand their roles and choose to work together with mutual respect and trust, the family thrives. The decision to submit is not only a personal choice, but a collective one that serves the greater good of the family unit. It establishes an environment where each individual can flourish, contributing to a harmonious, loving, and stable home life. A wife's submission, when done with dignity and in partnership with her husband, supports the entire family's well-being, creating a nurturing space where both parents can provide guidance, love, and direction to their children. Submission for the family means prioritizing unity and peace. It's about recognizing that the success of the family relies on the strength of the marriage and the willingness of each partner to play their part. A wife's submission is an act of cooperation, showing her trust in her husband's leadership, but also acknowledging the importance of her own contributions within the relationship. It's an understanding that the marriage must be balanced, with both partners working together to provide a stable, supportive environment where the family can grow spiritually, emotionally, and physically. This submission is for the benefit of the family's long-term health. It creates a space where both parents can work as a team, not in competition with one another, but as partners who support and uplift each other in their shared goal of raising their children and maintaining a loving household. When submission is practiced for the sake of the family, it fosters a spirit of unity that transcends individual preferences and desires, ultimately benefiting everyone in the home and setting a strong foundation for future generations. Love and sacrifice are inseparable in a strong, lasting marriage. True love is not just about the emotional highs or the good times, but about choosing to put the needs of your partner and your family first, even when it requires personal sacrifice. It means being willing to go beyond your own desires, comfort, and convenience for the sake of the other person. Sacrifice in love doesn't always look like grand gestures, but in the everyday acts of giving, whether it's time, energy, or patience. It's in the willingness to listen, support, and put the needs of the marriage above individual wants. In a marriage where love is the foundation, sacrifice becomes a natural extension of that love. When both partners are committed to serving each other, their sacrifices are not seen as burdens, but as expressions of deep affection and care. A husband might sacrifice his time to provide, protect, and nurture his wife and family. A wife, in turn, may sacrifice her personal goals or desires to support her husband's leadership or to raise their children. These sacrifices, when made with a heart full of love, strengthen the bond between them and create a sense of unity in the marriage. Moreover, sacrifice in love is not one-sided. It is mutual. Both husband and wife are called to sacrifice for each other, not out of obligation, but out of genuine love and respect. In this dynamic, each partner's actions reflect a commitment to the other's well-being and happiness. Through love and sacrifice, a couple creates a solid foundation for their marriage, one that can endure challenges and hardships. Sacrifice is not a loss, but a way to build a deeper, more meaningful connection that reflects the selfless nature of love itself. Respecting boundaries is a fundamental aspect of any healthy relationship, especially in marriage. It is about recognizing and honoring each other's personal space, needs, and emotional limits. Boundaries are not walls that separate individuals, but guidelines that help create a safe and nurturing environment where both partners can thrive. In a marriage, it is essential that each person feels heard, valued, and respected, and that requires understanding and respecting the boundaries that each person sets. This involves recognizing when to give space, when to listen, and when to step back, while also ensuring that both partners' needs are being met. Respecting boundaries means being attuned to your partner's emotional and physical needs and responding in ways that make them feel secure and loved. It's not about controlling or manipulating, but about supporting one another's individuality while still nurturing the relationship. For example, emotional boundaries might involve allowing your partner to process feelings in their own time without forcing them to share before they're ready. Physical boundaries might involve respecting each other's need for space or touch in ways that are comfortable and affirming. By respecting boundaries, both partners create a sense of trust and security in the relationship. It allows each individual to maintain their sense of self while still being an integral part of the union. It also creates space for healthy communication, where each person can express their feelings, desires, and concerns without fear of judgment or violation. When both partners respect each other's boundaries, the marriage becomes a partnership of understanding and mutual care, fostering a deeper emotional connection and a more fulfilling relationship. It is a vital part of maintaining balance and harmony within the marriage. Submission in context is about understanding the role of each partner in a marriage within the framework of mutual respect, love, and shared purpose. It's important to recognize that submission, as described in a biblical sense, is not a call for one person to be subjugated or diminished, but rather a conscious choice to honor the leadership of the husband within a structure of love and partnership. In this context, submission is not about inferiority, but about trusting the guidance and leadership of the spouse, with the understanding that the ultimate goal is the well-being and success of the family unit. The context of submission within marriage is one of mutual care, not dominance. It is a role taken voluntarily, recognizing the unique strengths and responsibilities that each partner brings to the relationship. The wife's submission is a way of supporting her husband's leadership, but this leadership is not authoritarian. It's rooted in service, love, and sacrifice for the good of the family. A husband's role is to lead with humility, wisdom, and respect, ensuring that the partnership remains a team effort where both individuals are equally valued and respected. Submission in context also means that both partners acknowledge their responsibility to each other and to the marriage. It's not a one-sided act, but an ongoing choice that each person makes to prioritize the other's needs, dreams, and desires. When understood in this way, submission becomes a powerful act of love, trust, and cooperation, rather than an act of submission to control. It is a dynamic that allows both partners to function within their roles while supporting and uplifting each other in the pursuit of a common purpose. This context transforms submission into a partnership where both individuals are free to thrive, knowing they are loved, respected, and valued. Biblical examples offer valuable insights into the principles of submission, love, and partnership within marriage. These stories highlight the balance between leadership and respect, showing how submission, when understood and practiced in the right context, can lead to flourishing relationships. One of the most profound examples is that of Sarah and Abraham. In 1 Peter 3:6, Sarah is described as calling Abraham Lord and submitting to him in faith. However, this submission was not out of blind obedience, but was rooted in trust and mutual respect. Abraham, as the leader of their family, made decisions, but Sarah's role was not passive. She supported and trusted him even when faced with difficult situations, such as when they left their homeland in obedience to God's calling. Sarah's submission was intertwined with her faith in God's plan for their lives and her respect for her husband's role in that plan. Another powerful example can be found in the relationship between Ruth and Boaz. Ruth's actions demonstrated humility and respect as she followed Boaz's guidance and submitted to his protection when she worked in his fields. This submission was a reflection of her trust in his integrity and kindness. Boaz, in turn, respected Ruth's dignity and character, choosing to honor her through his actions. Their relationship highlights the beautiful dynamic of mutual respect, where submission is not about hierarchy, but about trust, care, and a shared commitment to God's will. These examples show that biblical submission is not about suppressing one's voice or surrendering one's dignity, but about choosing to honor the other person's role in the relationship. Both partners are called to lead and submit in different ways, creating a balanced and supportive union that reflects God's design for marriage. God's design for harmony in marriage is a reflection of his perfect plan for unity, balance, and mutual support. From the very beginning, in the creation of Adam and Eve, God established the principle that marriage should be a partnership where both individuals complement one another, each contributing their unique strengths to the relationship. Harmony in marriage is not about uniformity or dominance, but about two people working together in a shared commitment to each other and to God. When both partners align their hearts and actions with God's will, they create an environment where love, trust, and respect can flourish. In God's design, harmony is seen in the way both spouses are called to play distinct roles while working together toward a common purpose. The husband is given the responsibility to lead with love and humility, while the wife is called to support and submit in a way that honors her husband's leadership. This balance of leadership and submission, when practiced in love and mutual respect, fosters an environment where both individuals feel valued and supported. The husband's leadership is not about control, but about guiding the family with wisdom, patience, and sacrifice. The wife's submission is not about inferiority, but about honoring her partner's role and contributing to the well-being of the family. When both partners embrace their roles in this way, God's design for marriage creates a harmonious and thriving relationship. This harmony goes beyond just peace within the home. It's a reflection of God's love for his people, a love that unites and strengthens. As both partners submit to God's will for their marriage, they experience deeper fulfillment, joy, and purpose. Harmony in marriage, according to God's design, is about finding strength in partnership, respecting each other's roles, and building a life together rooted in love, faith, and mutual care.